Hey, Norcal Karters, it is Monday, October 24th, and tonight we have a special show. We are going to highlight our champions from Rok Sonoma. So, Ashley and I, we've been up there all year long for the Rok Sonoma races. And tonight we have a number of our 2022 champions joining us on this show. But first, a couple of housekeeping updates. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled. I just finished my dinner and I think we're all kind of rushing around here at 7:30. But let's see here. We had this past weekend, Speed Sense. They did their Las Vegas barrier tune up in Corning. So maybe somebody from our panel had joined them this weekend. We get some insight to that. But that was this past weekend. Again, it was the Las Vegas barrier tune-up. And 2 weekends ago, we had the Rok Sonoma races 8 and 9. They were live streamed on YouTube. And once again, we have some of our champions joining us tonight for the interview. And coming up this weekend, Prairie City, PCKarting.com. They have their 4-stroke weekend. It's a doubleheader. So it's going to be October 29th and 30th. Again, a doubleheader. Races 6 and races 7. That's this weekend, Prairie City Karting. And then also they have their 4-stroke race number 8 on November 5th and 6th. So that gets their 4-stroke calendar wrapped up. And if we backtrack just a little bit, their 2-stroke race number 6, will be on November 12th and the 13th. So for full information on Prairie City Karting, they're one of our supporters of Norcal Karters. You can go to pckarting.com. And without further ado, Ashley, take it away.
Hey, NorCal. All right, I want to give out some shout outs. First, shouting out Yana Kapoor and Travis Mitchell winning in Prairie City 2 cycle this weekend. Travis tagged us on social media, so shout out Travis Mitchell. Congratulations. And then, yes, like Jason mentioned, we had the Speed Sense barrier test and tune over the weekend. The stuff that I saw looked pretty legit. So I'm glad that they were able to pull that off, and looking forward to next year if they're going to do it again. Next, again, tag us for shout outs, okay? Norcal Karters. Anything we see over the weekend, we try to mention on the show. Yeah, let's get into it.
Who do you want to bring up first, Ashley?
I'll
let you roll through the intros.
Let's bring up, well, I have Scott here. Well, actually, let's go with Scott first. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Master 100cc Rok Sonoma Champion 2022. We're gonna introduce Scott Formanak right here. What's up, Scott? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
All right. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Next up, we're going to come back to Scott. Next up, we are going to have your pro rock shifter champion, Ryan Martin, 2022 champion right here. What's up, Ryan Martin? Go ahead and unmute.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, congratulations. We're excited to have you.
I look forward to being here.
All right. Thanks, sir. Next up, we have the Mini Rock champion of 2022. She is coming to us live, broadcasting live from Hawaii on her vacation after a very well-earned championship. Here we go, our 2022 Mini Rock champion, Gabby Gadera.
Hi, thanks for having me. Hi.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll catch up with Gabby in a second. Next up, we have our senior 100cc champion. Here he is, the one, the only, Eddie Schumann. What's up, Eddie Schumann?
Thank you for having me. Can't wait to do it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And then in the one of the closest classes we had, the next champion is our official junior 100cc champion. His name, Anthony White. What's up, Anthony? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, these are some of your 2022 Rok Sonoma Champions. All right, the ones that were not able to join us, we have our senior Rok champion is Colin McGrath. We had our micro Rok champion is Landon Cordero Dolph. Our master Rok shifter champion is Patrick O'Neill. Our master Rok champion is Hunter Hagenbuck. And of course, our 125 limited champion is Pat Beckley from GFC as well. Welcome everyone to the show. Go ahead and take it away, Jason.
So let's go around the horn, starting with Scott, introducing himself. We already said what class he won, but let's talk about the chassis you're on, the engine package, and your team.
I'm running with Speed Sense Motorsports, and they run on the OTK Esprit chassis. I ended up running with the the KA 100 as opposed to the VLR, just because I had them. I really liked all of it. Speed Sense and I worked really well together, and we did very well this season.
So what was one of your big highlights from this year?
The biggest highlight of this year was the last race of the season, beating Carlos Calderon. He's a very respected driver that always drives so incredibly well, and to keep pace with him and challenge him for a win was just awesome.
Well, not just challenge. I mean, you guys were going back and forth the last couple of laps. It's like you really had to earn that win. And it was very exciting to watch. We had it on YouTube under the Rok Sonoma channel.
Yeah, it was excellent to go back and watch it and see how he and I gave each other room. We had clean passes the whole time and really pushed each other hard.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm going to try to get the video up for each class as well as we go through tonight to highlight, some of those highlights. But next up, let's do Ryan Martin.
Hey guys, yeah. So first of all, I want to congratulate Scott. I know how much of a big deal that was for him to win the championship this year. But so I run in the Pro Rok Shifter class with Ron White Racing, the RWR, on the CRG product line, and then we run the Rok Shifters, but Ron does them, so RWR Power.
All right. And what do you have hanging out of your hat?
What do you mean? Oh, my hair.
What did you do? Blonde? Did you go blonde or something?
No, I've been in the sun a lot lately. We were down south
okay.
last weekend, so it's changing color.
It looks like you glued hair to the bottom of the cap.
No, I got the hockey hair going. See, it's hockey season
hockey
now.
hair.
The Oilers just won, so.
The Oilers.
Yep.
That's the you and Ashley conversation.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
what
guys.
was one of your highlights from this year?
I don't know. I'd probably say it was earlier in the year when Oliver Askew and Christian Brooks and those guys came up. That was a lot of fun racing against those guys. So.
Very cool. All right. And we'll have you back on here in a moment. And then next up, let's bring up Gabby. You've done this before. Do the introduction to your chassis. Hey, Mom.
Hi. So I race under Bennick and my dad's racing team for close races. And then I race Mini Rock 60cc. And yeah, I race a Bennick chassis too.
All right, and you guys are really a family run. I've mentioned it a few times on the Rok Sonoma channel. So
Yeah.
mom there's a mechanic, dad's a mechanic.
Yeah.
Your older sister Lexi works the corners out there at Rok Sonoma.
Yeah.
So it's a true family effort. And I have to ask, what island are you on?
We're on Maui.
Maui. Oh, very
Yeah.
cool. Which part?
It's so fun.
We're in Kihei.
You're in Kihei. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. It's 3 hours behind California time right now, so it's definitely different.
Yeah.
It's Hawaii. It doesn't even matter.
I know. It shouldn't. But when you got important things like this to be with you guys, it does matter.
That's right. That's right.
Congratulations to all of you guys.
Well, congratulations to your team as well.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a very hard season.
Yeah,
Very
very hard.
stressful.
Yeah.
Mateo gave us a run for our money. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was good racing this year. Like I said, I'll try to bring some videos up here later on for each class here. But thanks for joining us, Gabby and Mom.
Thank you.
And let's see here. Next up, let's do Eddie Shimon. You got the mute. There you go.
Hey guys, I race under Team GFC, and I'm running P1 engines for power. Yeah. And I would say my favorite race this season was about 2 races ago when Chase Hand came down and he raced. We had a great battling back and forth, and definitely gave me a challenge for the win. So that was the best race I think so far this year.
Yeah, the 100cc classes gave us a lot of really good racing all year long.
Yeah.
All right, we have a comment coming in from Renee Beckley. They're sitting at Jody's soccer practice. Pat wants Eddie to tell us a Kenny story.
Oh man, Kenny stories are so good. Man, we were just at the barrier race up in Corning. Up in Corning.
Put on by Austin Elliott.
Yeah, put on by Austin Elliott.
Great job.
And that was tons of fun. That definitely added a characteristics of barrier racing, and that prepared me great for Vegas, I think. And as I was there, I didn't realize that Pat Beckley actually lives 3 minutes from that airport we were at. So I actually got to know Pat Beckley really well, and Renee, his wife.
Yeah.
And we all had a great time, and went to that dinner, and I got to know Pat's backstory and a little more about his childhood and all this, and got to know about his Kenny, his friend. So it was definitely one fun experience.
All right. So you have to give us a report on the Corning experience here in a bit. But yeah, let's get through all of our introductions, and we'll circle back on the. I don't like that term anymore, but we'll come back to that in the middle of the interview. All right, and last but not least, and Pat, if you're listening, it's never too late to join as long as we're still on. So I understand.
I'll tell a story.
I understand the family sports thing. So, and with that being said, last but not least, Anthony White.
So I race in the junior 100cc class, and I'm under the RWR 10, and I race on a CRG kart.
What's RWR stand for?
Ron White Racing.
Oh, okay. Is there any relation to you and Ron?
Yeah, Ron's my uncle.
Ron's your uncle. All right. So what was one of your highlights this year at Rok Sonoma?
I don't know. We had a lot of fun races. I don't think I really have a highlight, but all the races this year were really fun. So I guess
there's not like a single highlight that just pops out first.
Well, I guess winning the championship. That's a highlight of the season.
Well, yeah. kind of a culmination of your hard work all year, as with all the champions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's bring everyone back up. Let's see here. All right, Ashley, do you have anything? You're muted.
Well, some of our champions kind of already mentioned it in their kind of intros, but I did want to know who your hardest competitor was in 2022 at Sonoma. That was one of the questions we had. So, your hardest competitor in 2022. All right, we'll go with Anthony and then Scott.
My hardest competitor was probably Max because we were really close in the championship. I think how many points was he behind me?
About 7.
It was very close. I cannot remember the exact number right now. I looked at a lot of numbers that day, but it was very close. I want to say 40 or 70, one of the two. One class I know was 40 and then one was 70. So, but it was very close. And you guys raced well together all year too. Like our friend Gear Nuts is saying, you guys put on a show. You guys, Junior 100cc was always a good race to watch, very entertaining, and there were always people on the fence watching because it was very, very dicey between you guys sometimes. So, all right, Scott, you kind of touched on it already, but who was your hardest competitor in 2022?
I would say my hardest competitor was Dan Rivera. He and I, throughout the entire season, were right neck and neck with each other. We were always trading places. Whether I was on the third step of the podium or the second, he was always on the opposite side. And he and I switched off throughout the entire year. So he would definitely be my closest competitor.
Right. Dan Rivera, we're trying to get some video pulled up too. But okay, next up. Thanks, Scott. Next up we'll bring Ryan. I lost my hold on one second. Was that me or you?
Which part? Oh, I had a video. Did you guys see the video of Scott?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I was trying to cue it up to where, Scott and Carlos were battling it out back and forth. But now I have it queued up, so now we can come back to that later.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Ryan, who was your hardest competitor in 2022?
It's probably, I think we were the class where it was 40 points apart, but probably Brian Keck. He was like really consistent all year, and we were faster at the beginning. He was quicker at the end, so it was kind of back and forth all year. So I'd have to say Brian.
Can I be an a-hole and say your starts?
Oh my gosh! Well, hey, we figured out why there were problems, so hopefully that's not a problem anymore in Vegas. So.
Wow.
So I think apparently they changed something, and I was not aware of that. But once I found that out, we were testing at Dixon last week, and they're a lot better now.
Your
so
starts are going to be stellar down there in Vegas.
That's the plan. We'll see.
We want to see tires coming off the ground. We want to see the cart buckle.
Hopefully that happens.
All right, next up, Gabby. Gabby, who was your hardest competitor in 2022?
It was definitely Mateo or my brother. They were really good and consistent through the whole season. Like, let's just say the national tracks, Mateo was really good at. And he definitely gave a run for my money.
Yeah. And your brother also, yes, I would agree. He was there at the end and dicing it out with you guys. So that was pretty fun to watch as well, knowing how much he was trying to beat you.
Yep.
All right, next up, we'll bring up Eddie. Eddie, who was your hardest competitor of 2022?
I would say for overall throughout the whole season, I would say Roman Magical. He had me on the sprint track. He just gently pulled away, and then throughout the season, he was always there, putting pressure. But I would say for a single one-off race, I would say Chase Hand was definitely one of my biggest competitors in a one-off race. That was definitely he was. I mean, he got pole, and then it was just we were just back and forth throughout the heat races, and then I mean, it was just from the second heat race, made that last corner pass on him throughout the main event, and it was just a fun race to be in, and it was actually it was some great competition. So, yeah.
All right, and we are talking to the 2022 Rok Sonoma Champions from Sonoma, and we have a comment. Way to go, Gabby, getting our congratulations. Jason, do you have that video you want to bring up?
The 100cc Masters?
Yes, please.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. Let's cue up Scott again. Let's see here. There. We got it there?
Yep.
All right. So this is the race number 9. This was the final race of the season. And again, it was a really good battle between Scott and Carlos. Hey, Scott, why don't you talk about the growth of the 100cc Masters class at Rok Sonoma over the past year and a half?
We really have had some great growth, people coming together. I think I counted 23 different people attending the 100cc race this year, which in comparison to last year when we had 3 or 4 different people, it's quite a contrast. So a lot of people have really come together and been enjoying this class, which it's great to see.
And what are you guys doing away from the track? That we go for the pass, going into turn 1?
Oh,
that was a great one.
Put him in the dirt. Oh, there goes Michael Ting.
I was gonna cue him up right here. He commented.
He already did. He already shared his off track antics on Facebook earlier today. But Scott, why don't you talk about what you guys are doing off the track to network with each other? And it's one of those classes that you guys are hard competitors on the track, but it looks like you all get along and you're all trying to just pump each other up to go to the next race.
Yeah, it is a really good network of people that get along well and understand that we're not trying to tear each other down. We're trying to work together. We're trying to make everything work well for all of us. And there's a 100 Masters, a NorCal 100 Masters Facebook group. There's a WhatsApp chat group that Andre has put together. Andre has been putting in a lot of work to get Masters together and get the classes going. It's been a stellar effort on his end.
I didn't know about the Facebook group. Keep going, Ashley and Scott. Let me go find that group real quick.
All right. So tell us about this race too, because I know at one point over the weekend you came in, I can't remember if it was race 8 or race 9, that you said, can I have the results of qualifying? Because when I beat Carlos, I like to have a record of it. So kind of tell us about that and And as you could see, this is Scott and Carlos, and this is pretty much how they've been all season. So,
Well, it's not every day somebody gets to beat a driver like Carlos. And when I out-qualified him in race 8, I was just astounded that I was able to drive so well. And I made a couple tuning changes too far for the main and fell back. So at the end, when I was given a gift of 3rd place, I wanted a record of that I actually did out qualify him, because I didn't know that I was going to get the opportunity to challenge him again. And it was kind of the honor of the weekend was to race with him the way that we were able to race.
yeah. No, Carlos is he's good, and he has a lot of experience at Sonoma as well. So that is a very he is definitely one to beat here, but he is one of our hometown all right, now we got Michael Ting chiming in, but Carlos is one of our hometown guys that we like to see do well at the track.
I mean,
Michael Ting.
Michael Ting challenged me a lot over the last race at Sonoma. I mean, I out qualified him by just 12 thousandths of a second. So to say that he wasn't in the hunt and wasn't in the race would absolutely be a lie. He was right there nipping on my heels for the last 3 races, and just a real challenger.
Michael should have had rain tires on the left side of his cart.
All right.
Yeah, that was a fun race to call too, because it was just back and forth, and watching the growth of that class over the past couple of years has been really fun, because it's at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, when you're trying to video stuff and trying to capture moments, and there's only a handful of guys out there and they spread out pretty quick, it makes it tough to kind of fill that time. It's like, okay, well, let's highlight our sponsors. And the last couple of races in that 100cc Masters, I mean, just glued to the monitor or to the mic, just, calling it, and a lot of great racing action. So good job, guys out there.
Yeah, we've all really grouped together. It's been great to watch.
Oh, there's Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
We almost need our own little Michael Ting show.
All right, so let's see, who can we talk about next?
Actually, before we go too far, Ashley, what was some of your favorite highlights from the year?
My highlights?
Yeah, because we asked all of our other drivers what their highlights were.
Well, I can't say this without being biased, but I liked the races when Mitchoff raced, and he came to challenge Eddie, and then yeah, that was good. But again, I always sound biased, so thanks, Jason.
Well, it's hard to pick a moment and not sound biased.
Yes.
I mean, I was picking on Ryan because he's our shifter guy, so it's most people know I'm biased toward shifters.
Yes. And also I think my favorite race of the season was Rockfest West, just because like Eddie was saying, we had lots of different people who don't come to our normal club races came, and it was good competition for our drivers who are normally there, and it was also good competition for people who hadn't come and did the new tic-tac-toe or anything like that, so they were trying to figure out the track as well. I heard from some friends, but that was one of my favorite races of the season.
Oh, we have a question for Eddie.
Okay.
Eddie, are you currently sitting in one of your smaller race trailers?
I'm currently sitting in my kitchen.
Yeah.
I like that question, though. It's a good question. It's solid.
Good question. So for those that don't know, Eddie has one of the nicer trailers at the track.
This is next year's race trailer, though.
This is next year's race trailer.
Next year's.
You're going to need 2 pit spots. Yeah, so Eddie has a nice trailer at the track, but it's a lot of us are joking because you walk in and there's a beautiful kitchen inside of a race trailer, and you look around, it's like, well, where do you put the carts?
It's a perfect 2-car race trailer. That's all I need.
2-cart race trailer.
I don't know how you can fit more, honestly.
All right. Well, Jason, while you're queuing up video, we had a comment come in that was a good question. So, what were some of the biggest challenges or oops moments that each driver had to overcome during the battle for the championship? So, were there any oops moments or challenges? Some of the champions had their leads early on. Anything come up that made you just think oh man, let's just get to the end. So we'll start with Ryan. We'll start with Ryan first, and then we'll go around. Jason, are you getting video?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was one I wanted to bring up for Ryan, but
oops.
Actually, I'm interested to see what Jason pulls up.
I don't remember what race it was.
I think my oops moment or my uh-oh moment is going to be different than the one he pulls up, but I'd probably say my one was the last race, or it'd be race 8 the Saturday. Going into the weekend, we knew it was really tight on the points, and the biggest thing was just try to finish ahead of Keck and be consistent. Well, in the main event, our pump shifter broke when we were running in 3rd, so it broke on the bottom of the frame. So then I was coming out of, I think there was a pro corner, and I was like, oh, this thing's not shifting. If we don't finish this race, this is not good. I was prepared to go drive around in 3rd gear for 2 laps. That's where I was at, right? And I lifted off the gas, and it ended up shifting. So I just had to lift shift for the rest of the race and fell back to 5th. So kind of put us on the back foot going on the Sunday with a completely different go-kart, but it ended up working out really well for us. So.
All right. I'm curious to see what Jason's pulling up too.
Yeah, me too. Because I have a feeling it's going to be a start. I already know. Because you guys didn't catch the scene where my go-kart was 4 feet in the air. I know you guys didn't get that one. So I'm assuming it's a start.
All right. So we'll come back. But oops moments. Scott, did you have a oops moment this season?
I don't think I really had a oops moment, but adjusting to the 9 series tires was a huge moment throughout the series. Trying to figure out the differences between the previous tires and the new tires was real big for us. Once we've got it figured out, we were rolling again.
All right, that's good to hear. All right, Anthony, did you have a oops moment?
One of my oops moments was probably the very last race. There was 3 corners left, and it was where Max passed me, and I probably shouldn't have left the door open. And so I got second. That's my oops moment.
I think I remember watching your grandpa's reaction to that too. So I do remember seeing that. That was definitely an oops moment.
When we were in the pit, Patrick told me he needs to buy me a doorknob so I can close the door.
Oh my goodness. All right. Coming up, Eddie, your oops moment of the year.
I would say my biggest oops moment was Saturday, last race, where it was just all bad. Where I made a pass to Chris Martin going into tic-tac-toe, hit him, messed up. I passed him, and then I let him by. And then from there, we go around a couple laps, and I get him on the straightaway. And I go too deep, and I drop a wheel, and I come over and just T-bone him. And it was just all bad. And from there, the weekend just got progressively worse. And then you saw myself ending up at 9th. And then I think before that or after that, I was trying to pass for second or another race, but trying to pass for second or first or whatever. And I got next to, what was the kid's name? Remember?
JC Perez.
No. Other guy. Remember I was passing first? No?
Christopher Martin.
No. Anyways, it was one of the new kid, I think, that graduated from junior. And I was going for a pass into Monaco. To my tug.
Justice Halveria.
That's it.
Yeah.
Passing into Monaco, and I guess I ran up on him. And anyways, that, and then the race director pushed me back to behind him, which was last. And anyways, the weekend started bad. It started in the main in like 10th, and couldn't do anything from there. So that was that.
Yeah, that was definitely an oops moment.
Definitely. Gotta save it all for the last race, though.
Yes. All right, Gabby, your oops moment of the year.
Probably at race 9, qualifying, my motor was bogging coming out of the slow corners, and it made me like a second off the pace. And that just practice and that qualifying, it was just horrible. And it was just horrible.
All right, so we got everyone's oops moments. We got, hold on, let me go to the comments. All right, Jason, did you get any? Oh, you're muted.
My YouTube link is just frozen. It's not queuing up to where I want it to go.
Oh.
No, Ryan, my oops moment for Ryan, I was looking for it, is last lap, last corner, his chain broke.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, that's really not his oops moment. But
Oh, that was like race 3, wasn't it?
yeah, dude. And then Keck was right behind him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot
It's like,
about
that's
that.
really not an oops, but it's like, oh man, it's like
I remember that.
it's that $25 part, right? That just ruins our weekend.
Yeah, pretty much. I know. I was glad we ran that direction though, because I could just pull off right after and have to get my cart picked up.
Yeah, but I mean that was a great race between you and Brian, and
Yeah, no.
that was unfortunate.
Actually, I have a question for the other drivers. Might be kind of interesting. What was the biggest lesson or biggest thing you guys learned this year?
That's a
I
good
think that
one.
could be a good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, right. Ryan, that's a great question because we're always trying to teach our drivers. What
Exactly.
did they learn? Ryan Martin, what did you learn this week, this season?
Well,
From the peanut
I don't know.
gallery.
Actually, I had the question lined up. I didn't have the answer. Well, if you gloss over the chain incident, because that could happen to anyone, biggest thing for me was just learning to stay calm when things weren't going your way. Like, don't change your driving, just stay calm, relax, and it will come to you. So I think that was the biggest thing for me in the go-karting this year, and using your brain and going forward, not going backwards.
That's a good one. All right. Anybody can unmute. Go ahead.
Probably like being consistent and just being fast every lap. It really helps. Like, because the person behind you can be fast, but if you're consistent every lap and just being like having your times right on, it'll be perfect for like the next laps to come.
All right, great advice. Next, Eddie.
I think I think it would be just learning to calm down and when I'm passing, like just like respect the pass. Like don't go in too deep, don't overshoot it. Just go exactly as much as I need and make the pass smoothly. And just and don't rush the passing. Don't think I got to pass in an 18 lap stint. Think that I have 18 laps. I can, I got to pass, but pass respectfully. Don't and pass efficiently too. Don't rush it. So, yeah, that's my answer.
That's a good one. All right, Wes. So we'll remind him when he's getting crazy over there. All right, Anthony.
I think I learned a lot this year. I learned that I have to block more on the last lap. I don't know. I just learned a lot about driving, and I don't know. I just learned a lot. Yeah. I learned about being patient instead of like what Eddie said. Just like don't send it and crash. Just be patient. You'll pass them.
It's very easy to just want to send it though.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Scott, anything you want to add?
Oh, I fully agree with the whole general idea that everybody's sharing. That's the biggest thing that Austin has pounded into me this year is to settle down, not lose my cool, focus on the race, focus on my line, and not just get in my own head. That's my biggest downfall.
All right. Yeah. Well, we had a comment, Rebecca Hughes. Patience is one of the hardest things to learn in any aspects. So yes, I agree. Okay, so we have about 3 questions that we need to get through. First, we had favorite track layout. Go ahead. Anybody can answer.
Mine is probably the sprint layout, the forward sprint layout, definitely.
All right, Ryan.
Mine are usually the pro nationals, whether it's reverse or forward. They're usually a lot of fun, a lot of passing, good racing.
Anthony.
I think it's probably the sprint track because it's really technical. So it's a lot about driving.
All right, Scott.
I like the sprint layout as well. The technical aspect of the track, and it just seemed to bunch the drivers up a whole lot, which I really liked.
All right, Eddie.
I'll say the sprint layout because of it. It takes the driver more perspective from like in the regular layout with a long straightaway. All you make up from the infield, the guy behind you is going to just suck it up on the draft. So I like the sprint because you can just keep gaining that distance as of a better driver instead of just having a draft as your handicap. So yeah, sprint.
Yeah. All right. So our panel favors the sprint layout tonight. Next question we have. Will everyone be in the same classes, karts next year? Go ahead, unmute.
I think I'm gonna move up to senior 100cc, just for more competition and more drivers. But I'll be on the same go-kart, same kart. So.
All right. Good to know. Good to
How old
know.
are you, Anthony?
I'm turning 14 in April next year.
Okay.
So
you'll be that's because you guys kind of I thought a group of you moved up early to junior, but all right, so you'll be 14 and senior.
All right.
Get ready, Eddie.
All right, Eddie, you gonna be in the same class in kart next year?
We will see. To be determined.
Cliffhanger. Tune into Rok Sonoma next year.
All right, Scott.
Oh, there we go. As of right now, I plan to be on the same class, the same team, same engine package. We might end up moving to VLR, to the Rok engine, but it's to be determined on how the class structure works out at Sonoma.
All right, good to hear. Ryan.
Well, I was waiting to Vegas to do this, but I guess I'll do it here. Actually, Vegas is going to be my last go-kart race for a while. I've been running cars this year, and next year I'm going to go kind of full tilt on that, running the late model. But I'll still be around next year, kind of like team principal, team operations manager at RWR. So,
All right, we wish you the best, Ryan.
thank you.
Next, Gabby.
I am moving up to junior KA. This actually was my last season, full season in a mini. So yeah, I'm gonna be racing with Bennick still, but no, actually, I think I'm moving to RPG because they race OTK. So yeah.
Your last mini rock race is in Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas is my last mini rock race.
Or not mini Swift.
Mini Swift.
We're going to Super Nats, and that'll be the last mini class for her.
And while we have you on, how do you say your brother's name?
Seppi.
Matthew Giuseppe Gadera.
Seppi.
Yep, Seppi, not
I was-
Seppi.
Sepe, what's up, Sepe? We were watching it. I'm like, Sepe, come on, bro. Sepe.
Come here, Seppi. Seppi.
Seppi. There he is. What's up?
He said, "What's up?"
He's our Barrichello.
Yes. All right. So my next question is, what would you say to somebody who's thinking about coming to Rok Sonoma next year? Why would you encourage them to come to Rok Sonoma? Go ahead and unmute. Anyone?
Yes, I'll be first.
Okay.
Well, for me, like moving from Canada down to Rok Sonoma, I was very new to it a couple of years ago. And the biggest thing I kind of learned from it is don't be afraid to go and talk to people. You know, everyone there is super friendly. It's a big family. Even though you're racing against people and maybe some days they're not your best friend, everyone's there is like looking out for your best interest. And yeah, I'd say don't be afraid to go talk to people. You never know what can happen, and just enjoy it because it's a very great facility. There's not many places in North America that are like this facility that we're lucky enough to race at every week. So,
all right, well said. Thank you, sir. Anthony, what would you say to somebody wanting to come to Sonoma?
I would tell them to do it because it's a fun track and there's lots of competition and everybody's nice and friendly.
And we have a cool grid lady.
Yeah, and my mom's yelling in the background that we have a good grid lady who sets all the carts up.
All right, Scott, what would you tell somebody who's thinking about coming to Rok Sonoma?
I really like the versatility of the track, how many different layouts we get, how many different configurations and possibilities that try your skills in different ways. Like Eddie was talking about earlier, you get long straightaways that allow you to get a big lead if you got a great motor. You got sprint tracks that challenge you a lot. That it's just a really neat area that not many people get to experience, and it's right in our backyard, which is we're fortunate for.
All right, thank you. Well said, sir. Gabby, what would you tell somebody that's thinking about coming to Sonoma?
That everybody's super helpful there, and that there's a lot of great layouts. Like you can learn a lot because there's some off-cambered corners and some that like there's basically all the corners that you can get good at there, and that everybody's super nice.
Very
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Eddie, what would you tell somebody that wants to come racing in Sonoma? Okay, Wes, you can talk after Eddie, okay?
I would say, the Sonoma kart tracks, like me, they're making dreams come true since '02. And, I would say that definitely what I like about Sonoma is the long straightaways, the surface builds up grip really well, great passing, and there's so many different layouts where it doesn't really ever get old. And all the wives, all the girlfriends, they can go out and drink wine in this beautiful Sonoma wine country. And then also what I like about it is just when you're there, it's just a beautiful track. I mean, you look out, you have the beautiful views, you have the bay on one side, you have the mountains on the other. You get there in the morning, the fog, just sitting over all the grapes. I mean, it's a beautiful track. I don't think any other track in California or on the West Coast, I mean, is like that amount of beauty.
Are you the PR guy for Sonoma?
Right.
That's my favorite track.
All right, Wes. All right, Wes, bring it home.
Go ahead.
I mean, what he said.
Get nothing.
There's no other track in the U.S. and I've been to every track in the U.S. There's no other track in the U.S. that has the view like Sonoma does. We need more racers. We need more new people. So it's a great track with a great view, great competitors, club members, the people that run the track, Steve, Cameron, Diego
are amazing.
They're amazing. So I mean, there's nothing bad about it. So
the air quality is phenomenal too, unlike LA.
Why say no when it feels so good to say yes?
I love it.
So yeah, come to Sonoma. Come race Sonoma.
Rock Sonoma.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We are so proud of all of you for being our 2022 Rok Sonoma Champions. We wish you guys the best of luck in Vegas. We hope to hear a great race report, and we will be seeing you soon. Jason, we are going to wrap up and with some thank yous and some shout outs. So we're going to go through, say goodbye to everybody, and then we'll close out. All right. So, Eddie, thanks for joining us tonight. Go ahead and unmute, sir. Wes, thanks for joining us as well.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on being the senior 100cc champion this year. And well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Have a good night.
You too. Have a beautiful night.
All right, Ryan. Always a pleasure, sir. We will look forward to seeing you at Sonoma, still around at Sonoma, but doing big things in cars. Congratulations, sir, on being the 2022 champion.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. It's a lot of great people there. And the one thing I wanted to add quickly to that last comment was I always stress to people, like, if you can go race at Sonoma, do it. Because if you can win at Sonoma, you can go anywhere else in the country and win. We're so lucky. We have so many talented coaches and drivers there that you always see people from Sonoma do well in Vegas. So.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, Scott. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We will see you next season. Congratulations on being our Master 100cc champion for 2022.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a great night, sir.
All you guys.
Anthony White. Congratulations, sir, on being our junior 100cc champion.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you
we'll
guys for
see you
having me.
next season. Hope you do well in Vegas. Gabby Gadara, congratulations on being our 2022 Mini Rock champion. We wish you the best in Vegas and can't wait to see you move up to juniors next year.
Thank you so much. And
All
thank
right.
you for bringing me on the show.
Of course. All right. Congratulations to all of you. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to start dropping everybody. Jason, we are going to go through our close. Oh, shout out. Sorry. Here we go. We would like to thank Steve and Kimberly Cameron for a great season. Pete Heiss, our actual technical boss, who makes sure we are
Signs our checks.
taken care of at the track. James Kim from Apex Picks, who takes all of our pictures. Bomb.com. Actually, it's Apex Picks. Find him on Instagram and Facebook. Another thank you to Jason Larea, our Rok Sonoma live stream director, his camera crew, and his girlfriend Vanessa, who helps us as well. The whole Rok Sonoma crew. I'm going to name people if I forget. It's not because I don't like you. It's just because I can't remember. So we're gonna go with Casey White, Lexi Gadara, Brennan, our flagman, John, our guy at the scales, Jeff Mangus, Josh Velos, Bill McAllister, our whole crew. Hopefully we will all be back again next year as well. Quickly, I want to go over the upcoming show lineup. Next week, we are going to be off for Halloween. The week after that, we're going to have our Prairie City post-season show. After that, we're going to have a Rock Vegas recap. Then possibly a Thanksgiving show. And then we will close out with a Supernats recap in November. So if you want to come on my show to talk about karting, let's do it. Peace, NorCal.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. Again, this was our 2022 Rok Sonoma Champions. And maybe we'll do a follow-up show to try to get some of our other guests that weren't able to make it on tonight. So we had, give me 1 second here. We had Senior Rock, Colin McGrath, that wasn't able to make it. We had Micro Rock, Landon Kudoradolf, that wasn't able to make it. Master Rock Shifter, Patrick O'Neill. Master Rock, Hunter Hagenbuck. Let's see here. And last but not least, 125 Limited Shifter, Pat Beckley. So those were some of the guests that weren't able to make it tonight due to prior commitments. We know people get busy with their family and everything else. Oh, and here's Steve Cameron chiming in. Nice show. Congrats to all the champions. And then I got to do my normal sign off. But before I sign off, Gear Nuts was asking, how was it from my perspective? You know what? The last 2 years have been incredible at Rok Sonoma. The whole video thing, the announcing thing, it's all been brand new for me. It's been a lot of fun. Watching a lot of these drivers have really good growth and a lot of racing action was a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to 2023. So from my perspective, I mean, I get paid to run my mouth, so it's pretty good. And with that being said, if you like what we're doing, like, subscribe to all of our channels, hit share, and remember, if we all get one person in karting, we'll double by next year.